What if you could wake up every day with a clear vision, unstoppable confidence, and the habits to turn your dreams into reality? What if you could finally break free from self-doubt, procrastination, and limiting beliefs that have held you back for too long? Welcome to How to Master Your Life and Become Your Best Self, a practical, no-nonsense guide to unlocking your full potential. Written and published by Mindset Audio, this audiobook is designed to help you develop the mindset, discipline, and habits that lead to success in every area of life. This isn't just another book filled with empty motivation. It's a step-by-step blueprint to personal transformation. You'll learn how to overcome challenges with resilience, replace bad habits with powerful ones, and cultivate the winning mindset necessary to achieve your goals. Whether you want to improve your career, relationships, health, or overall happiness, this book will give you the tools to make it happen. Self-mastery isn't about being perfect. It's about progress, consistency, and making intentional choices every day. If you're ready to take control of your life, break through your limitations, and step into the best version of yourself, then this audiobook is for you. The journey to success starts now. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Power of a Winning Mindset. What separates those who succeed from those who struggle? Why do some people rise above challenges while others remain stuck? The answer isn't luck, intelligence, or talent. It's mindset. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you achieve, the lens through which you see the world, and the driving force behind your actions. If you want to master your life and become your best self, developing a winning mindset is the first and most crucial step. A winning mindset is more than just positive thinking. It's a belief system that fuels resilience, growth, and success. It's the inner voice that tells you, "I can learn from this," instead of, "I'll never get it right." It's the ability to see setbacks as stepping stones, failures as lessons, and challenges as opportunities. People with a winning mindset don't wait for life to hand them success. They create it. They take ownership of their growth, push beyond their comfort zones, and refuse to let fear dictate their choices. The key to understanding mindset lies in the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Dr. Carol Dweck, a psychologist and researcher, introduced these concepts, and they have transformed the way we understand success and personal development. A fixed mindset is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents are set in stone. People with this mindset tend to avoid challenges because they fear failure will expose their limitations. They take criticism personally, give up easily, and see effort as pointless if they don't achieve immediate success. If someone with a fixed mindset struggles with public speaking, they might say, "I'm just not good at speaking in front of people," and never attempt to improve. On the other hand, a growth mindset is the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Those with a growth mindset embrace challenges, understanding that struggle is part of progress. They welcome feedback, knowing it helps them improve, and they see failures as temporary setbacks rather than defining moments. A person with a growth mindset who struggles with public speaking would say, "I may not be great at this yet, but I can get better with practice." That single word, "yet," makes all the difference. It turns failure into potential, obstacles into opportunities, and setbacks into setups for future success. Your mindset shapes your reality because your beliefs influence your actions. If you believe you're capable of change and growth, you will take the necessary steps to improve. If you believe you're stuck where you are, you won't bother trying. This is why so many people remain trapped in cycles of frustration, because they unknowingly reinforce limiting beliefs that keep them from moving forward. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not disciplined," or "I'll never be successful," your mind will find ways to prove those statements true. But when you shift your beliefs to, "I can develop discipline," or "I am capable of success," you start acting in alignment with those thoughts, and your reality begins to change. Think about the most successful people in the world: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They weren't born with unshakable confidence or limitless skill. They cultivated a mindset that allowed them to push past failures, outwork doubt, and grow into the best versions of themselves. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of giving up, he used the experience as fuel to improve. His belief that he could get better despite setbacks turned him into a legend. The good news is that mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You have the power to reshape the way you think, to train your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations. But just like training a muscle, developing a winning mindset requires consistency and effort. It's about catching yourself when negative self-talk creeps in and replacing those thoughts with empowering ones. It's about choosing growth over comfort, progress over perfection, and persistence over quitting. If you've spent years believing you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough, understand that those beliefs are not facts. They are simply stories you've told yourself, stories that can be rewritten. The moment you decide to shift your mindset, you take control of your life in ways you never thought possible. You stop seeing obstacles as dead ends and start seeing them as tests of your resilience. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it. So ask yourself, are you willing to let go of the limitations you've placed on yourself? Are you ready to embrace challenges, learn from failures, and believe in your ability to grow? Because that's what a winning mindset is all about. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being open to learning. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about using it to become stronger. And most importantly, it's not about who you are today. It's about who you have the power to become. The choice is yours. You can continue seeing obstacles as barriers, or you can start seeing them as opportunities to rise. You can hold on to limiting beliefs, or you can challenge them and rewrite your story. If you're ready to master your life and step into your greatest potential, then commit right now to developing a mindset that champions growth, resilience, and success. Because once you do, nothing will ever be the same. Let's keep going. Your journey to self-mastery is just beginning. Developing a winning mindset. Now that you understand the power of mindset, the next step is learning how to cultivate one that drives success. A winning mindset isn't something you simply wake up with one day. It's built through daily habits, intentional choices, and a commitment to growth. It's about mastering the way you think, so that instead of working against you, your mind becomes your greatest ally. One of the biggest obstacles to developing a winning mindset is self-doubt. That little voice in your head that whispers, "You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're going to fail." Self-doubt is what keeps people stuck in fear, preventing them from taking action. But here's the truth. Self-doubt is a liar. It's not based on reality. It's based on past conditioning, insecurities, and limiting beliefs that you've absorbed over time. The good news? You don't have to listen to it. Overcoming self-doubt starts with questioning it. The next time your mind tells you, "You can't do this," stop and ask yourself, is that really true? More often than not, you'll realize that your doubt is just a fear-based assumption, not a fact. Instead of allowing it to control you, replace it with a new belief. I am capable. I am learning. I am growing. Every time you challenge self-doubt, you weaken its power over you. Another key strategy in developing a winning mindset is embracing failure as a teacher. Most people fear failure because they see it as proof that they're not good enough. But successful people understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every setback, every mistake, every rejection carries a lesson that can make you stronger if you're willing to learn from it. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of a winner, someone who doesn't let failure define them, but instead uses it to refine them. The next time you face a setback, don't ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead ask, "What can I learn from this?" That simple shift in perspective will turn failures into fuel for your growth. Visualization is another powerful tool for rewiring your brain for success. Your mind doesn't always distinguish between reality and imagination, which means that when you visualize success, your brain starts creating neural pathways that make it feel possible. Top athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers use visualization to mentally rehearse their victories before they happen. They see themselves crossing the finish line, delivering the perfect speech, or achieving their biggest goals. And because they've already seen it in their minds, their confidence soars, making it easier to bring those visions to life. Try this. Close your eyes and picture yourself achieving one of your biggest goals. Imagine every detail, what it looks like, how it feels, who's there celebrating with you. The more vividly you visualize it, the more real it becomes in your mind. Do this daily, and you'll start to notice a shift in your confidence and motivation. Your brain will begin to work in alignment with your goals, making success feel inevitable rather than impossible. Affirmations are another way to reprogram your mind for success. The words you speak, both out loud and in your thoughts, shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," your mind will find ways to make those statements true. But when you replace those negative beliefs with empowering affirmations, you shift your self-perception. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable and resourceful." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be successful," affirm, "I am becoming the best version of myself every day." It might feel strange at first, especially if you're used to negative self-talk. But the more you repeat these affirmations, the more they sink into your subconscious. Over time, they become the new beliefs that guide your actions, decisions, and mindset. Write them down, say them in the mirror, or record them on your phone and listen to them daily. Consistency is key. Your brain believes what you repeatedly tell it. Developing a winning mindset is about training yourself to see possibilities instead of limitations, to replace fear with action, and to turn every challenge into an opportunity for growth. It's about stepping into the version of yourself that refuses to settle, that knows they are capable of more, and that is willing to do the work to make it happen. Imagine looking back a year from now and realizing how much has changed simply because you decided to master your mindset. You stopped letting self-doubt hold you back. You embraced failure as part of the journey. You visualized your success until it became real. You spoke words of power over your life until you believed them. That future is possible for you, and it starts with the choices you make today. Your mind is your greatest asset. train it wisely, and there will be no limit to what you can achieve. Let's keep going. The next step in your journey to self-mastery is waiting. Chapter 2. Turning challenges into opportunities. No matter who you are or where you come from, one truth remains the same. Life will test you. Challenges are not a possibility, they are a certainty. You will face setbacks, disappointments, and moments where you question whether you have what it takes to keep going. But here's another truth. Your greatest growth happens in the face of adversity. The struggles you go through are not meant to break you. They are meant to build you. Every challenge holds within it an opportunity, but only if you have the mindset to see it. Think about a muscle. The only way it grows is through resistance. You push it past its limits, it tears, and then it rebuilds itself stronger than before. The same principle applies to your mind, your character, and your resilience. Without challenges, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't succeed because life was easy for them. They succeeded because they learned to turn obstacles into stepping stones. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She was born into poverty, faced trauma, and endured countless rejections in her career. At one point, she was even told she wasn't fit for television. But instead of letting those challenges define her, she used them as fuel to push forward. Today, she is one of the most influential figures in the world, not because she never faced adversity, but because she refused to let it stop her. This is what resilience is all about. Resilience is the ability to bounce back when life knocks you down. It's the inner strength that allows you to keep going even when everything seems stacked against you. But resilience isn't something you either have or don't have. It's a skill that can be built. The more you train yourself to see challenges as opportunities for growth, the stronger you become. One of the most powerful ways to build resilience is by shifting your perspective on adversity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every difficulty carries a lesson, whether it's patience, perseverance, or the realization that you are stronger than you thought. The people who thrive in life aren't the ones who avoid hardship. They're the ones who embrace it, knowing that every storm will pass, and they will come out stronger on the other side. Another key to resilience is emotional mastery. Life is unpredictable, and if your emotions control you, you will always feel like a victim of circumstances. But when you learn to manage your emotions, especially in times of stress, you take back your power. One of the best ways to do this is through mindfulness. When challenges arise, instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back, breathe, and assess the situation with clarity. Ask yourself, is this as bad as my mind is making it seem? What can I control in this moment? By training yourself to respond instead of react, you build the emotional strength to handle anything life throws your way. Another strategy for building resilience is embracing discomfort. Most people try to avoid pain and hardship, but growth happens outside your comfort zone. Think about a time when you accomplished something you once thought was impossible. Maybe it was running your first marathon, starting a new business, or overcoming a personal struggle. At first, it seemed overwhelming, but by pushing through discomfort, you proved to yourself that you were capable of more than you imagined. That's the power of resilience. Every challenge you overcome expands your belief in yourself. One of the best ways to train your mind for resilience is through self-talk. The way you speak to yourself in difficult times determines whether you rise or fall. When things get tough, do you tell yourself, "I can't handle this"? Or do you say, "I am strong enough to get through this"? Your words shape your reality. If you constantly reinforce your strength, your mind will rise to the occasion. But if you allow negative self-talk to take over, you will feel defeated before you even begin. Think of Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team. He could have given up, convinced himself he wasn't good enough, and walked away from the game forever. Instead, he used the setback as motivation to work harder than ever. He trained relentlessly, honed his skills, and became one of the greatest athletes in history. His story is proof that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are just detours leading to something greater. Hard times will come. That's a fact. But whether they break you or build you is up to you. You can see them as obstacles, or you can see them as opportunities. You can let them defeat you, or you can use them to grow into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. So the next time you face a challenge, remember this: you are being prepared for something greater. Life is shaping you, refining you, and giving you the strength you need for what's ahead. Don't run from the struggle. Embrace it. Rise to the challenge, knowing that on the other side of difficulty is the person you were always meant to become. Your story is still being written, and every challenge is just another chapter leading to your ultimate success. The question is, will you let adversity define you, or will you use it to rise? Let's keep going. Your journey to self-mastery continues. Turning obstacles into opportunities. Every great success story is also a story of overcoming obstacles. The path to achievement is never a straight line. It is filled with twists, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But those who rise above their struggles understand one key truth: obstacles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up isn't the absence of hardship, but the ability to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. Reframing setbacks starts with shifting your perspective. When faced with failure or disappointment, most people immediately see it as a dead end. They think, maybe I'm just not meant to do this. But those who master their mindset ask a different question. What can I learn from this? Every setback carries a lesson. Maybe it's teaching you patience, refining your skills, or pushing you in a direction you wouldn't have considered otherwise. Instead of seeing failure as rejection, see it as redirection. The moment you shift your perspective, you take back your power. One of the greatest examples of turning obstacles into opportunities is J.K. Rowling. Before she became one of the best-selling authors in history, she faced tremendous hardship. She was a struggling single mother, living in poverty and dealing with personal loss. When she submitted Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone to publishers, she was rejected again and again. 12 publishers turned her down. Many people would have taken that as a sign to quit. But Rowling persisted. She believed in her story, kept pushing forward, and eventually one publisher gave her a chance. That one, yes, changed everything. Her journey is proof that patience and persistence are essential to success. Too often people expect instant results. They want their efforts to pay off immediately, and when they don't, they assume it wasn't meant to be. But real success takes time. It requires the patience to endure challenges and the persistence to keep going, even when progress feels slow. The most successful people in the world didn't get there overnight. They stayed committed through the struggles, knowing that every obstacle was preparing them for something greater. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors in history, famously failed over 1,000 times while trying to create the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he responded, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is the mindset of a winner, someone who refuses to let setbacks define them. Imagine if Edison had given up after his first few failures. The world as we know it would be completely different. His persistence didn't just lead to success, it changed history. One of the most powerful ways to overcome obstacles is by surrounding yourself with the right people. No one achieves greatness alone. When challenges arise, having a mentor, coach, or supportive community can make all the difference. The right people will remind you of your strengths, offer guidance, and push you forward when you feel like giving up. Think about the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders. They all have mentors. Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson. Steve Jobs had mentors who guided him through Apple's early struggles. Even Oprah Winfrey credits her success to the influence of mentors who believed in her potential. Seeking support isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. When you surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you, you accelerate your growth and increase your chances of success. Community is just as important as mentorship. Being part of a group of like-minded individuals, people who share your ambitions and values, keeps you motivated. It reminds you that you're not alone in your struggles, whether it's a mastermind group, an online forum, or a group of friends who push each other to grow. Being in the right environment fuels your resilience. Consider the story of Elon Musk. Before Tesla and SpaceX became global successes, he faced near-total failure. Tesla was on the brink of collapse, and SpaceX's first 3 rocket launches failed. Musk was nearly bankrupt. Most people would have walked away, but instead of seeing these failures as signs to quit, he saw them as lessons. He adjusted, learned from his mistakes, and pushed forward. His persistence paid off. SpaceX's 4th launch was a success, and today it is revolutionizing space travel. Musk's story proves that obstacles are not the end, they are part of the journey. If you're facing setbacks right now, remember this. Every great success is built on a foundation of failures, struggles, and lessons learned. The only way you truly fail is if you stop trying. To turn obstacles into opportunities, you must develop a mindset that refuses to be defeated. See every challenge as a teacher. Cultivate the patience to endure, the persistence to push forward, and the wisdom to seek guidance from those who have walked the path before you. The difficulties you face today are shaping you into the person you need to become for tomorrow's success. Imagine looking back a year from now, realizing that what once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle was actually the thing that led you to your greatest breakthrough. That reality is possible if you commit to reframing setbacks, staying persistent, and leaning on the right people for support. Your journey is just beginning. Every challenge you face is not a sign to quit, but an invitation to rise. Keep going, because your success story is waiting to be written. Chapter 3. The Science of Habits, Building the Foundation for Success. Your life today is the result of your habits. The way you think, the way you act, and the results you achieve all stem from the small, repeated actions you take every day. Success and failure are rarely the result of a single moment or decision. Instead, they are the cumulative outcome of the habits you build over time. The good news is that if you want to change your life, you don't have to rely on willpower or luck. You just need to understand how habits work and learn to shape them to your advantage. At its core, a habit is a behavior that has been repeated so often that it becomes automatic. The brain, always looking for ways to be more efficient, forms habits as a way to save energy. Once an action becomes habitual, you no longer have to consciously think about it. It happens on autopilot. Consider driving a car. When you first learned to drive, every step required focus. You had to think about when to turn the wheel, when to press the brake, and when to check your mirrors. But over time, through repetition, these actions became second nature. The same principle applies to everything from brushing your teeth to checking your phone first thing in the morning. This automatic nature of habits can either work for you or against you. If you have good habits, they will propel you towards success. If you have bad habits, they will keep you stuck. This is why habits are so powerful. They dictate your actions even when you're not consciously thinking about them. The key to mastering your life is mastering your habits. Researchers have identified a simple loop that governs all habits: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. The routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is the benefit your brain receives, reinforcing the habit. For example, imagine you have a habit of grabbing a sugary snack every afternoon. The cue might be a feeling of boredom or low energy. The routine is walking to the kitchen and eating the snack. The reward is the quick burst of energy or pleasure you feel. Over time, this cycle becomes ingrained, and your brain starts craving the reward whenever the cue appears. Understanding this cycle is the first step to changing your habits. If you want to break a bad habit, you must identify the cue that triggers it and replace the routine with a better behavior. Instead of reaching for a sugary snack when you feel tired, you could take a short walk or drink a glass of water. The key is to keep the cue and reward the same while swapping the routine for something healthier. One of the most powerful types of habits is what researchers call keystone habits. These are habits that, once established, create a ripple effect, improving multiple areas of your life. A classic example is exercise. When someone develops a habit of regular exercise, they often start eating healthier, sleeping better, and feeling more confident, all because of one keystone habit. Another example is waking up early. People who commit to an early morning routine often find that they become more productive, manage their time better, and feel more in control of their day. The beauty of keystone habits is that they don't require you to change everything at once. Instead, by focusing on one key habit, you naturally build momentum that makes other positive changes easier. This is why the all-or-nothing mindset often fails. Trying to overhaul your entire life at once is overwhelming. But when you start with just one habit, you create a foundation for long-term transformation. Consider the story of Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit. He explains how one of the most powerful keystone habits for many people is making their bed every morning. It seems like a small act, but studies have shown that people who make their bed tend to feel more organized, productive, and in control of their day. This single habit creates a chain reaction of better behaviors, proving that small changes can have a big impact. To identify a keystone habit in your own life, ask yourself, what is one small change I could make that would positively impact multiple areas of my life? Maybe it's committing to a daily morning routine, drinking more water, or setting aside time for deep work without distractions. Whatever it is, start small and be consistent. Another important concept in habit formation is habit stacking. This strategy involves linking a new habit to an existing one, making it easier to integrate into your daily routine. For example, if you already have a habit of drinking coffee every morning, you could use that as a trigger to start journaling or practicing gratitude. By attaching new habits to ones you already do consistently, you increase the chances of making them stick. Building good habits isn't about relying on motivation. It's about creating systems that make success inevitable. Motivation is fleeting, but habits are reliable. The people who achieve their goals don't wake up every day feeling inspired. They wake up and follow their habits. They don't wait for the perfect moment to start. They create routines that ensure progress happens, even on days when they don't feel like it. If you want to change your life, start by changing your habits. Identify the small behaviors that are shaping your daily actions. Replace the ones that hold you back and reinforce the ones that move you forward. Start with keystone habits that create momentum and make success easier. And remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. But if you commit to small, consistent improvements over time, those habits will compound into extraordinary results. Your habits are the foundation of your success. Master them, and you will master your life. Creating and maintaining successful habits. Building successful habits isn't just about understanding how they work. It's about designing a life that makes good habits easy to follow and bad habits difficult to maintain. Many people struggle with consistency, not because they lack motivation, but because they haven't created an environment that supports their goals. The key to lasting change is making success automatic by setting yourself up with the right systems, routines, and mindset. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by designing a strong morning routine. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. The most successful people in the world, from top CEOs to elite athletes, understand this. Instead of waking up and immediately checking their phones or rushing into the chaos of the day, they follow a structured routine that primes their minds and bodies for success. A great morning routine doesn't have to be complicated, but it should include activities that help you feel focused, energized, and in control. Some of the most effective habits to incorporate are movement, such as stretching or exercise, mindfulness practices like meditation or journaling, and intentional planning for the day ahead. Even something as simple as making your bed can create a sense of accomplishment that carries over into the rest of the day. Time management is another crucial element of building successful habits. Many people say they don't have time to develop new habits, but the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference lies in how we use them. One of the best ways to manage time effectively is to schedule your habits just as you would an important meeting. If you want to develop a reading habit, set a specific time each day to read instead of just hoping to fit it in. If you're trying to exercise regularly, treat your workouts as unbreakable appointments with yourself. When you plan your habits into your day, they become a natural part of your routine instead of something you struggle to make time for. Of course, even with a solid plan, staying consistent requires discipline. Motivation can get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. There will be days when you don't feel like sticking to your habits, days when you're tired, busy, or simply not in the mood. This is where the power of commitment comes in. Instead of relying on how you feel in the moment, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Why did you start this habit in the first place? What long-term benefits will it bring to your life? The ability to push through discomfort and stay committed, even when it's inconvenient, is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. A great way to stay disciplined is by tracking your progress. When you track a habit, you create visible proof of your commitment, which helps reinforce the behavior. Something as simple as marking an X on a calendar every time you complete a habit can be incredibly powerful. The longer your streak grows, the more motivated you'll be to keep it going. Apps, journals, or habit tracking charts can serve as daily reminders of how far you've come. Even on days when progress feels slow, seeing your consistency laid out in front of you can be the push you need to stay on track. Equally important is celebrating small wins along the way. Many people only reward themselves when they reach a big goal, but success is built on small victories. Every time you show up for yourself, whether it's completing a workout, writing a page in your journal, or resisting an old bad habit, you're making progress. Acknowledging these moments reinforces positive behavior and makes the process more enjoyable. Maybe your reward is as simple as taking a moment to appreciate your efforts, treating yourself to something small, or sharing your progress with a friend or mentor who can celebrate with you. When you recognize and appreciate the small steps, the journey becomes just as fulfilling as the destination. Think about someone training for a marathon. They don't start by running 26 miles on the first day. They begin with short runs, gradually increasing their distance over time. If they only celebrated when they crossed the finish line on race day, they would miss out on the sense of accomplishment that comes from each training session. The same is true for any habit. Progress is built in the small, consistent efforts that add up over time. One of the most inspiring examples of the power of consistent habits is the story of James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. He transformed his life by focusing on just 1% improvements each day. Instead of aiming for massive overnight change, he committed to making small, sustainable adjustments. Over time, these tiny improvements compounded, leading to extraordinary results. His philosophy proves that it's not about making radical changes all at once. It's about making slightly better choices every day. Those small changes, when repeated consistently, lead to transformation. Ultimately, the habits you choose to build will determine the quality of your life. Designing a morning routine, managing your time effectively, staying disciplined, tracking progress, and celebrating small wins are all strategies that will help you maintain successful habits. But the most important thing is to start. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the right level of motivation. Just take action, even if it's small. Once you commit to the process, momentum will carry you forward and success will become inevitable. Your future self is being shaped by the habits you build today. Choose wisely, stay consistent, and watch as those small daily actions create a life of extraordinary success. Chapter 4. Breaking Free from Bad Habits, Rewiring Your Mind for Success. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to break. We've all experienced the frustration of trying to quit a behavior that we know isn't serving us. Whether it's procrastination, unhealthy eating, excessive screen time, or negative self-talk. No matter how determined we feel at the start, we often find ourselves falling back into old patterns, stuck in a cycle of guilt and frustration. But why is it so difficult to change? The answer lies in the way our brains are wired. Habits, both good and bad, are deeply ingrained in our neural pathways. The more we repeat a behavior, the stronger the connection becomes, making it automatic over time. This is why you don't have to think about tying your shoes or brushing your teeth. You've done it so often that it happens without conscious effort. The same process applies to destructive habits. If every time you feel stressed, you reach for junk food or scroll mindlessly on social media, your brain starts associating that behavior with relief. Over time, these habits become coping mechanisms, reinforcing themselves through the reward system in your brain. At the core of every habit, good or bad, is a loop. Cue, routine, and reward. The cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. The routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is the benefit your brain receives, reinforcing the cycle. For example, if someone smokes cigarettes, their cue might be stress. The routine is lighting up a cigarette, and the reward is the temporary relief it provides. The problem is that the reward is often short-lived, and the habit doesn't actually solve the underlying issue. Yet, because the brain craves the reward, the cycle repeats. Understanding this loop is the first step to breaking free. Instead of trying to force yourself to simply quit a bad habit through sheer willpower, the most effective strategy is to replace the routine while keeping the same cue and reward. If stress is your trigger, but smoking is your unhealthy routine, you need to find a different behavior that provides relief. Perhaps deep breathing exercises, going for a walk, or listening to music. By rewiring your brain with a healthier alternative, you weaken the old habit while reinforcing a new one. To successfully break a bad habit, you also need to identify your triggers. Pay attention to when and where the habit occurs. Do you procrastinate when you sit at your desk? Do you reach for junk food when you're bored? Do you check your phone whenever you feel uncomfortable in social settings? Recognizing the patterns that lead to your habit gives you the power to disrupt them. One of the simplest yet most effective strategies is to change your environment. If you always eat unhealthy snacks because they're easily accessible, remove them from your home and replace them with better options. If you spend too much time on your phone, leave it in another room when you need to focus. Sometimes, small environmental changes can make a huge difference in breaking a habit. Another powerful strategy is to make bad habits inconvenient. The harder it is to engage in a negative behavior, the less likely you are to do it. If you struggle with spending too much time on social media, delete the apps from your phone or use website blockers to make access more difficult. If you overspend on online shopping, remove saved payment methods so that making a purchase requires extra effort. The more friction you introduce, the easier it becomes to resist temptation. At the same time, making new, positive habits easy and appealing increases your chances of success. If you want to read more but find yourself watching TV instead, place a book on your nightstand and remove the TV remote from easy reach. If you want to exercise in the morning, set out your workout clothes the night before. By reducing the effort required to engage in positive behaviors, you make them the default choice. Breaking bad habits also requires self-compassion. Many people give up after one slip-up, believing they have failed. But change is not an all-or-nothing process. Setbacks are normal, and progress is never linear. The key is to recognize mistakes without letting them define you. If you eat unhealthy one day, it doesn't mean you should give up on your fitness goals. If you skip a workout, it doesn't mean you're not capable of being disciplined. The most important thing is to get back on track as quickly as possible. One inspiring example is the story of Jerry Seinfeld and his productivity strategy known as "Don't Break the Chain." When Seinfeld was building his career as a comedian, he committed to writing jokes every single day. To track his progress, he put a calendar on his wall and marked an X for each day he wrote. Over time, a chain of X's formed, and his only goal was to keep that chain going. This simple method works for breaking bad habits too. Every day you avoid a negative habit, mark it down. The longer your streak becomes, the more motivated you'll be to continue. Ultimately, breaking free from bad habits is about understanding your brain's natural tendencies and working with them instead of against them. Identify your triggers, replace destructive behaviors with healthier alternatives, change your environment, and make bad habits inconvenient while making good habits easy. With time, patience, and consistency, you can rewire your mind for success and take full control of your life. Breaking free. Strategies for overcoming bad habits. Overcoming bad habits is not just about discipline, It's about understanding your mind, setting yourself up for success, and being patient with the process. The journey to breaking free from negative patterns is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, moments of weakness, and days when the old habits feel almost impossible to resist. But the most important thing you can do is keep going. True transformation happens not when you never fail, but when you refuse to let failure define you. One of the most critical aspects of overcoming bad habits is building willpower. Many people believe willpower is something you either have or don't have, but in reality, it's like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Just as an athlete doesn't start with extraordinary strength, but develops it through consistent training, your ability to resist temptation and stay committed to positive change improves with practice. This means starting small and gradually pushing yourself further. If you're trying to cut back on social media, for example, you don't have to quit cold turkey. Instead, begin by reducing your usage by 10 minutes each day until it becomes manageable. Every small victory strengthens your self-control, making it easier to resist larger temptations over time. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your habits, and one of the best ways to break bad ones is to create a setting that supports your goals. If you're trying to eat healthier, keep nutritious foods easily accessible and remove junk food from your home. If you want to wake up earlier, set your alarm clock across the room so you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. These simple adjustments reduce the friction of making good choices while increasing the difficulty of engaging in bad ones. The fewer temptations you have around you, the less willpower you need to rely on. Another powerful strategy is to replace bad habits with positive alternatives rather than just trying to eliminate them. The mind doesn't like a vacuum. If you remove something, it will instinctively seek a replacement. This is why people who quit smoking often find themselves reaching for snacks instead. Rather than just trying to stop an unwanted behavior, give yourself a new, healthier action to take in its place. If you tend to scroll through your phone mindlessly when you're bored, replace that habit with something more intentional, like reading a book or going for a short walk. Over time, your brain will associate the new habit with the same sense of relief or satisfaction, making it easier to transition away from the negative behavior. Despite our best efforts, relapses are almost inevitable. The real danger isn't in failing, it's in allowing failure to derail progress. Too often, people slip up and immediately fall into an all-or-nothing mindset. I've already messed up, so I might as well give up entirely. But this way of thinking only strengthens bad habits instead of weakening them. Imagine you accidentally drop your phone on the floor. Would you pick it up and keep using it, or would you smash it completely because it's no longer perfect? The same logic applies to habits. One mistake doesn't erase all the progress you've made, and a single setback is never a reason to give up. Self-compassion is crucial in this process. Many people believe being hard on themselves will push them to do better, but research shows that self-criticism often leads to discouragement and giving up entirely. On the other hand, people who practice self-compassion, who acknowledge their mistakes but treat themselves with kindness, are more likely to persist and achieve long-term success. If you slip up, don't dwell on guilt or shame. Instead, acknowledge what happened, learn from it, and refocus on your goals. The faster you forgive yourself and move forward, the less likely you are to fall into old patterns permanently. Persistence is what separates those who successfully break bad habits from those who remain stuck. There is no perfect, failure-free path to self-improvement. Every success story is filled with moments of doubt, struggle, and temporary failure. What matters is not how many times you stumble, but how many times you choose to stand back up. Think about Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," when inventing the light bulb. Imagine if he had given up after the first 100 attempts, or even the first 9,999. The only way to truly fail is to quit trying. Building a support system can also make an enormous difference. When you're working to change deeply ingrained habits, having people around you who encourage and hold you accountable can provide the extra motivation you need. Whether it's a friend, mentor, support group, or even an online community, surrounding yourself with people who share your goals and values makes the journey easier. If you're trying to quit smoking, joining a community of ex-smokers who have been through the same struggles can provide invaluable advice and encouragement. If you're building a new fitness habit, having a workout buddy can keep you accountable and make the process more enjoyable. At the end of the day, breaking bad habits is about progress, not perfection. It's about making better choices today than you did yesterday and continuing that momentum forward. No matter how many times you've failed before, you always have the power to rewrite your story. The key is to commit, stay patient, and believe in your ability to change. Transformation isn't about waking up one day as a completely different person. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. And, as you continue on this journey, remember this: you are always just one decision away from a completely different life. Chapter 5. Mastering Your Emotions: The Power of Emotional Intelligence. Emotions shape every decision we make, every relationship we build, and every challenge we face. Whether we realize it or not, our ability to understand and manage our emotions directly impacts our success in life. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, control, and express emotions effectively, is one of the most powerful skills anyone can develop. It determines how well we handle stress, navigate conflicts, and connect with others. While traditional intelligence, IQ, may open doors, it's emotional intelligence, EQ, that ultimately decides how far we go. At some point, everyone has made a choice they later regretted in the heat of the moment. Maybe it was saying something hurtful during an argument, making a rash financial decision out of frustration, or walking away from an opportunity because of fear or self-doubt. When emotions take control, logic often takes a back seat, leading to impulsive actions and unintended consequences. This is because emotions, particularly stress and anxiety, hijack the brain's decision-making process. When we feel threatened, whether physically, emotionally, or socially, the amygdala, the part of our brain responsible for processing fear, takes over. This response, often called the amygdala hijack, triggers our fight-or-flight instincts, making it difficult to think rationally or see the bigger picture. Understanding this reaction is the first step in mastering emotional intelligence. Instead of allowing emotions to control us, we must learn to pause, assess, and respond with intention rather than impulse. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to do this is through deep breathing. When stress levels rise, taking slow, deliberate breaths signals to the brain that there's no immediate danger, allowing the rational part of the mind, the prefrontal cortex, to regain control. A technique called the 4-7-8 breathing method, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, is particularly effective in calming the nervous system and restoring mental clarity. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. the ability to recognize and understand your emotions as they arise. Too often, people suppress or ignore their feelings, believing that emotions are a sign of weakness. But emotions are not the enemy. They are signals that provide valuable information. Recognizing when you are feeling stressed, frustrated, or overwhelmed allows you to address the underlying cause rather than reacting blindly. A simple yet powerful practice to build self-awareness is journaling. Taking a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts and emotions can help you identify patterns, triggers, and areas where you need to develop greater emotional control. Stress and anxiety, if not managed properly, can cloud judgment and lead to poor decision-making. In high-pressure situations, it's easy to focus on worst-case scenarios and let fear dictate our actions. One way to counteract this is by shifting perspective. Instead of seeing a challenge as a threat, reframe it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Many of the world's most successful individuals have faced immense adversity, but what set them apart was their ability to stay composed under pressure. Take Michael Jordan, for example. He famously missed over 9,000 shots in his career, lost nearly 300 games, and failed repeatedly in crucial moments. Yet, he viewed every failure as a stepping stone to success, using each setback to improve his game rather than allowing frustration to derail him. Another powerful technique for managing emotions under pressure is visualization. Elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers use this strategy to stay calm and focused in high-stakes situations. By mentally rehearsing success, whether it's delivering a speech, handling a difficult conversation, or overcoming a challenge, you train your brain to respond with confidence rather than fear. This practice not only reduces anxiety, but also reinforces a mindset of resilience and control. Emotional intelligence is not just about managing your own emotions, it's also about understanding and responding to the emotions of others. The ability to empathize, communicate effectively, and navigate social dynamics is essential for both personal and professional success. People who master emotional intelligence tend to be better leaders, form stronger relationships, and handle conflicts with grace. One of the simplest ways to develop empathy is to truly listen, not just to respond, but to understand. In conversations, focus on the other person's words, tone, and body language. By putting yourself in their shoes, you create stronger connections and foster deeper trust. Ultimately, mastering emotions is about balance. It's not about suppressing feelings or avoiding challenges, but about developing the ability to stay in control, even in difficult situations. By building self-awareness, managing stress effectively, and cultivating empathy, you equip yourself with the tools needed to navigate life with confidence and resilience. Emotions will always be a part of the human experience, but when you learn to master them, they become a source of strength rather than a weakness. As you move forward, remember this: success is not determined by external circumstances alone, but by how well you manage your inner world. Those who can stay calm under pressure, harness their emotions productively, and respond with wisdom rather than impulse, hold the key to a truly empowered life. Cultivating positive emotions, the path to emotional mastery. Emotions are powerful forces that shape our lives. They influence our thoughts, our decisions, and ultimately, the quality of our existence. If we want to master our lives and become our best selves, we must learn to cultivate positive emotions such as gratitude, joy, and fulfillment. These emotions are not just fleeting feelings. They are transformative, capable of rewiring the brain, enhancing mental clarity, and helping us lead lives that are both meaningful and enriching. Gratitude is one of the most powerful positive emotions we can cultivate. It is a practice that can completely shift the way we experience life. Scientific research has shown that when we engage in gratitude regularly, we rewire our brains to focus more on the positive aspects of our lives. This is because the brain is malleable. It responds to the stimuli we expose it to. When we consistently practice gratitude, we train our brain to seek out the good, even in challenging situations. This rewiring process has been linked to increased levels of happiness, improved mental health, and greater life satisfaction. Take a moment to think about your life. How often do you focus on what you lack rather than what you have? It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of wanting more success, more material possessions, more recognition. However, true happiness does not come from accumulating more. It comes from appreciating what you already have. Begin to shift your focus by acknowledging the simple blessings in your life, whether it's a loving family, a peaceful home, or even the small moments of joy you experience every day. By cultivating gratitude, you create an internal environment that is rich with positivity, which in turn transforms your external reality. Joy is another emotion that can elevate our lives. It is the natural result of living in alignment with our values, passions, and purpose. When we feel joy, we are fully present in the moment, connected to the richness of life itself. Many of us, however, struggle to experience true joy because we are weighed down by the burdens of stress, worry, and dissatisfaction. This disconnection from joy often arises when we place too much focus on the future or the past, rather than embracing the present moment. To cultivate joy, we must learn to release the need to control everything, and instead allow ourselves to experience life with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Realize that joy is not something we have to chase. It is something we can choose to experience in every moment. You can find joy in the most ordinary activities, a walk in nature, a shared meal with loved ones, or even a quiet moment of reflection. When we allow ourselves to experience these small yet significant moments, we open the door to greater fulfillment. Life is full of beauty, and by practicing mindfulness, we can tap into that beauty more readily. The more we embrace joy, the more joy will flow into our lives, enhancing our emotional well-being and overall quality of life. Letting go of negativity is a crucial step in cultivating positive emotions. Negative emotions such as anger, resentment, and fear are like heavy weights that hold us down, preventing us from reaching our full potential. Holding on to these emotions not only affects our mental and emotional health, but it also influences our physical well-being. The body and mind are deeply interconnected. When we harbor negative emotions, we increase stress, weaken the immune system, and reduce our ability to focus and perform at our best. To truly experience emotional freedom, we must learn to release these toxic emotions. The first step is recognizing that holding on to anger or resentment only harms us, not the person or situation that caused the pain. Holding on to these emotions is like carrying around a backpack full of rocks. Each negative thought and feeling adds weight, making it more difficult to move forward. The key to releasing negativity is forgiveness, not necessarily for the other person, but for ourselves. Forgiveness allows us to let go of the emotional burden and create space for healing and growth. Fear is another emotion that can keep us trapped in a cycle of negativity. It holds us back from pursuing our goals and living our best lives. Fear thrives in uncertainty, and it can paralyze us if we let it. But fear is not something we must submit to. It is something we can overcome. The first step in overcoming fear is recognizing that it is often a product of our thoughts rather than reality. When we become aware of our fears, we can question them and challenge their validity. Often, we realize that the fear we experience is disproportionate to the actual risks involved. As we work through fear and negativity, we begin to experience emotional freedom. This is the freedom to live authentically, to pursue our passions without hesitation, and to engage fully with life. Emotional freedom is the ability to respond to life's challenges with resilience and grace, knowing that we are in control of how we feel and how we react. One real-life example of emotional mastery is that of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. Frankl found meaning and purpose in the most unimaginable circumstances, choosing to focus on love and hope rather than hatred or despair. His ability to cultivate positive emotions, even in the direst of conditions, is a testament to the power of emotional mastery. He teaches us that no matter the external circumstances, we always have the power to choose our emotional responses. In conclusion, cultivating positive emotions is not just a feel-good practice. It is an essential step toward emotional mastery and living a fulfilling life. Gratitude, joy, and fulfillment are powerful tools that can rewire our brains, transform our mental and emotional health, and help us break free from the chains of negativity. By embracing these positive emotions and letting go of anger, resentment, and fear, we can create a life that is rich with meaning, purpose, and happiness. Chapter 6. Discovering your why. The key to purpose and fulfillment. One of the most powerful and transformative steps you can take toward mastering your life is discovering your why, the deeper reason behind everything you do. This why is not just a passing thought or an abstract idea. It is the driving force that fuels your motivation, shapes your decisions, and gives your life direction and meaning. Without a clear sense of purpose, life can feel aimless, as if you're drifting through each day without truly engaging with what matters most. But when you uncover your why, everything changes. It's like flipping a switch that illuminates your path and makes every step you take feel purposeful and aligned with your core values. Your why is the foundation of your journey toward becoming your best self. It is the essence of who you are, the values, beliefs, and passions that define you at your core. When you act in alignment with your why, you tap into a deep well of motivation that can carry you through even the most challenging times. Your sense of purpose gives you the energy to persevere when things get tough, and the clarity to make decisions that serve your highest good. Think about the most successful and fulfilled people you know. What do they have in common? More than just ambition or talent, they have a strong sense of purpose that drives them. Consider someone like Oprah Winfrey, who found her why in empowering others and creating a platform for meaningful conversations. Her sense of purpose guided her through adversity and propelled her to become one of the most influential figures in the world. Or, look at someone like Elon Musk, who is driven by the belief that his work can change the world and make humanity a multi-planetary species. His why fuels his unrelenting drive to innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible. But finding your why isn't just for famous figures. It's essential for everyone. It's about uncovering the deeper meaning behind your own goals and aspirations. What excites you? What would you do if money and time were no object? What impact do you want to have on the world, on those around you, or even on yourself? These are the questions that can help you uncover your why. It's not just about achieving success for the sake of success. It's about achieving something that resonates with your true self and aligns with your values. Consider the example of Sarah, a woman who spent years climbing the corporate ladder, only to find herself feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from her work. She had achieved success by external standards, good salary, high position and recognition, but deep down, something was missing. After taking time to reflect on her values and passions, Sarah discovered that her true why was helping others to grow and reach their potential. She realized that her love for mentoring and empowering individuals was what truly brought her joy. This revelation led her to pivot her career, moving into a role that allowed her to coach and support others. As a result, Sarah found not only professional success, but personal fulfillment as well. Her actions were now aligned with her core values, and every day felt meaningful. Your why doesn't have to be as grand or dramatic as changing the world, but it should be deeply personal. It might be to create a loving home for your family, to build a business that reflects your passion, or to live a life of service to others. Whatever it is, your why will give you the strength and direction you need to move forward with purpose. When you have a clear sense of why you're doing something, it becomes easier to make decisions, set goals, and navigate obstacles. You are no longer swayed by fleeting desires or external expectations. Instead, your actions are guided by your core values, and that alignment creates a sense of inner peace and satisfaction. One of the most important aspects of discovering your why is aligning your actions with your core values. Our values are the principles that govern our behavior and decision-making. They are the compass that guides us in the right direction. However, many people live their lives without fully understanding or consciously aligning their actions with their values. When there's a disconnect between what we truly value and what we do on a daily basis, it can create inner conflict and dissatisfaction. Take John, for example. John worked long hours at a job he didn't enjoy, all in the name of providing for his family. He felt guilty for not spending more time with his children, but he justified it by telling himself that his hard work was for their future. However, deep down, he longed for more meaningful connections and to be more present in his family's life. John's values of family, love, and connection were not being reflected in his actions. After some reflection, he realized that his true why was to be a loving, supportive father who could guide his children through life. This realization inspired him to make changes, shifting his priorities and aligning his work schedule with his values. As a result, John found more fulfillment and joy in his daily life, and his relationships with his family flourished. Finding your why is not always easy, and it may take time and reflection. It's about digging deep to uncover the passions and beliefs that lie beneath the surface. The journey toward discovering your purpose is an ongoing process, one that may evolve as you grow and learn more about yourself. But when you make the effort to identify your why and live in alignment with it, you unlock a level of fulfillment and motivation that cannot be found through external achievements alone. In the end, your why is the heartbeat of your life. It's the reason you wake up each day, the driving force behind every decision, and the anchor that keeps you grounded in your truth. By discovering and embracing your purpose, you set yourself on a path toward lasting fulfillment, success, and the ultimate mastery of your life. Setting meaningful goals and creating a lasting legacy. Once you've uncovered your why and aligned your actions with your core values, the next step is to set meaningful goals that bring your purpose to life. Goals are the roadmaps that guide us toward our desired destination, but they are not just about achieving success. They are about creating a life that reflects who we truly are and leaves a lasting impact. By setting goals that resonate with our deepest desires and values, we not only create a future we can be proud of, but we also craft a legacy that extends far beyond our own lifetime. Creating a meaningful life isn't just about accumulating accomplishments, it's about making a difference in the lives of others. A legacy isn't defined solely by what we achieve in our own lifetimes, but by the positive influence we have on the world and the people around us. The most fulfilling lives are those that are centered around contribution, the act of giving, sharing, and elevating others. When we focus on serving others, we enrich our own lives in ways that material success never could. Take the story of an individual like Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi's life was not about personal gain or success in the traditional sense, but about creating a legacy of peace, non-violence, and freedom. His purpose was rooted in helping others, empowering them to fight for their rights without resorting to violence. Gandhi's contributions didn't just transform India. His teachings continue to inspire millions across the world, leaving a legacy that transcends time. His life is a reminder that the most impactful goals are those that aim to serve a higher purpose. But contribution doesn't always have to be on a global scale to be meaningful. You don't need to become a world leader or a famous figure to create a lasting legacy. The key is to focus on what you can do to positively impact those around you, whether it's your family, friends, community, or even the people you encounter in everyday life. Consider the story of Maya, a woman who worked as a teacher for many years. Maya wasn't driven by the desire for accolades or recognition. Her deepest goal was to inspire her students to reach their full potential. She often stayed after school to help students who struggled with their lessons, creating a safe space where they could learn, grow, and feel supported. Years later, several of her former students came back to thank her, sharing how her encouragement and belief in them had been the turning point in their lives. Maya's legacy wasn't one of awards or status, but one of love, support, and encouragement. She had set a goal to make a difference, and in doing so, she created a ripple effect that touched countless lives. As you reflect on your own goals and aspirations, ask yourself, what kind of impact do I want to make? What contribution can I offer to others that will outlast my time here on Earth? These questions are not just for the grand moments in life. They are meant to guide you in every decision you make, big or small. When you live authentically and with a sense of purpose, your actions automatically contribute to the world around you in ways that might not be immediately obvious, but are no less meaningful. Setting meaningful goals involves aligning your actions with your values, but it also means looking beyond your own success. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of personal achievements, but true fulfillment comes from goals that are centered on growth, contribution, and service to others. Start by asking yourself what brings you joy, what you're passionate about, and how you can use those passions to benefit others. It could be anything from mentoring a young person, volunteering your time to a cause you believe in, or starting a business that helps people solve real problems. No matter the scale of your goals, it's important to stay connected to your deeper purpose. There's an old proverb that says, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." The act of contributing to others creates a sense of fulfillment that material success alone cannot provide. It shifts the focus away from self-interest and toward the well-being of others, enriching both our lives and the lives of those we touch. Helping others also fosters a sense of connection and community, allowing us to feel a part of something bigger than ourselves. In many ways, This sense of connection is the foundation of a meaningful life. One powerful example of how contribution can shape your life is the story of Brian, a successful entrepreneur who built a thriving tech company. Despite his financial success, Brian felt a sense of emptiness that he couldn't shake. It wasn't until he started volunteering his time at a local shelter, offering mentorship to young people who faced hardships, that he began to feel truly fulfilled. His connection with the youth at the shelter reminded him of his own struggles growing up, and he found a sense of purpose in helping them find their way. Brian soon realized that his legacy wasn't going to be defined by the size of his business or the wealth he accumulated, but by the lives he touched through his work at the shelter. He made the choice to shift his focus toward making a meaningful impact, both in his business and in his community, and it brought him a deeper sense of fulfillment than he had ever imagined. As you set your own goals, think about how you can incorporate contribution into your life. This doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your ambitions or put aside your personal dreams. Rather, it's about ensuring that your goals are aligned with a broader sense of purpose, one that allows you to contribute to others and leave a positive mark on the world. By living authentically and intentionally, you create a life that not only brings you joy and fulfillment, but also leaves a lasting legacy that continues to inspire and uplift others long after you're gone. In the end, it's not the goals we achieve, but the lives we touch that define our legacy. Live with purpose, live with passion, and always live with the intention to contribute to something greater than yourself. When you do, you will create a life that is truly masterful, one that leaves an enduring impact on the world and lives on through the positive changes you've made in the lives of others. Chapter 7. The Power of Self-Confidence. Unlocking your true potential. Self-confidence is one of the most important qualities you can cultivate on your journey to mastering your life. It is the belief in your own abilities, the inner strength that propels you forward in the face of challenges, and the key to unlocking your true potential. Self-confidence doesn't just affect one area of your life, it ripples through every aspect, influencing your relationships, career, personal growth, and, overall, happiness. When you are confident, you approach life with a sense of certainty and purpose. You take risks, seize opportunities, and navigate challenges with resilience. In short, self-confidence is the foundation upon which success is built. But for many, building and maintaining self-confidence can be an ongoing struggle. Despite our talents, achievements, and dreams, self-doubt often creeps in, eroding our belief in ourselves and our abilities. We may feel unworthy of success, question our qualifications, or fear that we don't belong. These barriers to confidence, such as imposter syndrome and negative self-talk, can paralyze us, preventing us from reaching our full potential. Imposter syndrome is a common experience where individuals, despite their accomplishments, feel like frauds. They worry that they don't truly deserve their success, and that others will eventually discover they are not as competent or capable as they appear. This feeling often occurs when we're in unfamiliar or high-pressure situations, such as starting a new job, taking on a leadership role, or pursuing a new endeavor. The thought of being found out can be overwhelming, causing us to second-guess our decisions, avoid new opportunities, or hold ourselves back. For example, think of Sarah, a talented graphic designer who just landed a prestigious project with a top client. Despite her skills and experience, Sarah constantly feels like she's not good enough for the job. She worries that her client will soon realize she's not as talented as they think, and she finds herself overworking to try and prove her worth. This constant pressure only drains her energy and creativity, causing her to question every decision she makes. In reality, Sarah's talent is undeniable, but her self-doubt is clouding her ability to fully embrace her success. Another barrier to self-confidence is negative self-talk. Many of us have an inner critic that constantly undermines our abilities. These negative thoughts might sound like, "I'm not smart enough," "I'll never be good enough," or "I'm just not cut out for this." Over time, these thoughts become ingrained in our minds, and we start to believe them as truths. Negative self-talk erodes our confidence and keeps us stuck in a cycle of self-criticism and fear of failure. James, for example, is an aspiring writer who dreams of publishing a novel. Every time he sits down to write, however, his inner critic tells him that his writing isn't good enough, that no one will ever want to read his work, and that he's wasting his time. These thoughts prevent him from even finishing a single chapter, let alone submitting his work to a publisher. James is allowing self-doubt to control his actions, and in doing so, he is sabotaging his own success. The good news is that self-confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you can cultivate and strengthen over time. Overcoming imposter syndrome, silencing your inner critic, and boosting your self-belief are all within your control. It starts with shifting your mindset and taking action, even when you don't feel 100% confident. The first step in building lasting self-confidence is acknowledging that you are not alone in these feelings. Everyone, no matter how successful they may seem, faces moments of doubt and insecurity. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often not their lack of fear, but their ability to push through it. One powerful strategy for overcoming self-doubt and imposter syndrome is to focus on your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Reflect on the moments in your life when you've overcome challenges, achieved goals, or made a positive impact. Write them down and revisit them whenever you feel unsure of yourself. Remind yourself that your success is not a fluke, but the result of your hard work, talent, and dedication. For example, when Sarah feels overwhelmed by imposter syndrome, she looks back at her past projects, reminding herself of the positive feedback she received from clients and the growth she has experienced as a designer. This practice helps to counteract the negative thoughts that make her feel inadequate. Another key strategy is to reframe negative self-talk. Instead of listening to your inner critic, challenge its validity. When you hear the thought, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support this belief? Chances are there's very little evidence to back up such a statement. In fact, you've probably had many successes that prove the opposite. Replace self-limiting thoughts with empowering affirmations such as, "I am capable," "I am worthy of success," or "I am constantly growing and improving." Over time, these positive affirmations will begin to rewire your brain, helping you to cultivate a mindset that supports confidence rather than self-doubt. Taking action is also essential in building self-confidence. The more you step outside your comfort zone and take risks, the more you will prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Even if you don't feel completely confident, take that first step. Whether it's starting that new project, speaking up in a meeting, or pursuing a goal you've been putting off. Each action, no matter how small, builds momentum and reinforces your belief in your own abilities. Lastly, surround yourself with people who believe in you. A supportive network can be a powerful confidence booster, providing encouragement, constructive feedback, and a sense of belonging. When you're around others who uplift you and help you see your potential, it becomes easier to believe in yourself. Remember, Building self-confidence is a journey, not a destination. It requires consistent effort, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront and overcome the barriers that hold you back. But with time and practice, you can break free from imposter syndrome, silence your inner critic, and develop the confidence to pursue your dreams and create the life you desire. You have everything within you to succeed. All it takes is the courage to believe in yourself. Building self-esteem and projecting confidence. Self-esteem is the cornerstone of confidence. It's the internal sense of worth and value you place on yourself, and it plays a pivotal role in how you navigate life. When your self-esteem is strong, you are more likely to take on challenges with courage, pursue your goals with determination, and believe in your ability to succeed. However, building self-esteem isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process that requires intentional action and a willingness to recognize your own worth. One of the most effective ways to strengthen self-esteem is to celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and acknowledge your achievements. By doing so, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and deserving of success, which, in turn, fuels your confidence. It's easy to downplay your accomplishments, especially when you're focused on bigger goals or when you're comparing yourself to others. But celebrating your victories, whether it's completing a challenging project at work or simply getting through a tough day, is essential to building a positive self-image. When you take time to recognize what you've done well, you send a message to yourself that you are worthy of success. This doesn't mean being arrogant or bragging about every little thing you do, but rather acknowledging the effort and progress you've made and giving yourself credit for it. Consider the example of Daniel, a young entrepreneur who launched his own business. In the beginning, he was hesitant to celebrate his achievements, even when he hit significant milestones like gaining his first client or reaching a revenue target. He was so focused on what he hadn't achieved yet that he overlooked the progress he'd made. It wasn't until a mentor pointed out how far Daniel had come that he realized the importance of celebrating those small wins. From then on, Daniel made a habit of reflecting on what he had accomplished each week, no matter how minor it seemed. He started to see himself as someone capable of success, and this shift in mindset helped him take on even bigger challenges with greater confidence. Another powerful way to build self-esteem is by projecting confidence through your body language and presence. How you carry yourself can influence not only how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. When you stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with clarity, you are sending a message to your brain that you are in control and worthy of respect. On the flip side, slouching, avoiding eye contact, and shrinking into yourself can send the opposite message, that you lack confidence and don't believe in your own value. It's easy to overlook how much body language affects self-esteem, but it's a powerful tool that can be harnessed to boost your confidence. Take Sarah, for instance, a woman who had always struggled with self-doubt. She had a habit of slouching in meetings, avoiding eye contact, and speaking in a quiet, hesitant tone. This behavior reinforced her belief that she wasn't as capable or confident as her colleagues. After realizing how much her body language affected her self-esteem, Sarah made a conscious effort to improve it. She began sitting up straight, maintaining eye contact, and speaking more assertively. While it felt awkward at first, over time, she noticed a shift in how she felt about herself. She felt more confident in her abilities, and others started to notice too. As Sarah's body language improved, so did her self-esteem, and she found herself taking on new challenges with more enthusiasm and conviction. The way you present yourself can have a profound effect on how you show up in the world. When you walk into a room with purpose, confidence, and a sense of self-worth, it's not just your posture that changes, it's your energy. People can sense your presence, and they are more likely to treat you with respect and acknowledge your value. This doesn't mean you have to be extroverted or put on an act, but rather that you should tap into the natural confidence that lies within you. Start by standing tall, relaxing your shoulders, and breathing deeply. Practice making eye contact and speaking with authority, even if you don't feel completely confident at first. The more you practice these behaviors, the more natural they will become, and the more your self-esteem will grow. It's also important to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. The people you spend time with can either fuel your confidence or drain it. When you're surrounded by individuals who believe in you, encourage your growth, and celebrate your achievements, it becomes easier to believe in yourself. Conversely, being around negative or critical people can undermine your self-esteem and make it harder to project confidence. Take a moment to evaluate your relationships. Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Make an effort to build a network of people who inspire and support you, and distance yourself from those who bring negativity into your life. Building self-esteem is not just about changing how you act on the outside. It's about shifting your internal dialogue. Self-esteem thrives when you practice self-compassion and acknowledge your worth from within. This means accepting yourself, flaws and all, and being kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. When you make a mistake or encounter a setback, instead of berating yourself, practice self-compassion by reminding yourself that you are human and capable of growth. Over time, this mindset will help you develop a stronger sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation. One of the most effective ways to reinforce your self-esteem is through positive affirmations. These are simple, powerful statements that remind you of your value and potential. You can say things like, "I am worthy of success," "I am capable of achieving my goals," or "I believe in my abilities." By repeating these affirmations daily, you retrain your mind to focus on your strengths rather than your perceived weaknesses. When you believe in your own value, others will begin to see it too, and you'll project confidence effortlessly. In the end, building self-esteem is a lifelong journey that requires consistency, self-awareness, and a commitment to nurturing your own worth. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of love, respect, and success, and that you have the power to create the life you desire. When you celebrate your achievements, project confidence through your body language, and surround yourself with positivity, you are laying the foundation for a life filled with self-belief and lasting fulfillment. Every step you take toward strengthening your self-esteem is a step toward becoming the confident, empowered person you were always meant to be. Chapter 8. The Power of Your Social Circle. Elevating your success. Through relationships, your social circle plays a crucial role in shaping who you are and how successful you become. The people you spend the most time with can either lift you up or hold you back. They influence your mindset, your habits, and the opportunities available to you. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. It is often the result of surrounding yourself with the right people who believe in you, challenge you, and push you to be the best version of yourself. Building a network of mentors, allies, and like-minded individuals is one of the most powerful steps you can take on your journey to mastering your life. The impact of your social circle can be profound. Think about the last time you spent time with someone who was full of energy, positivity, and ambition. Chances are you left that conversation feeling motivated, inspired, and ready to take on the world. On the other hand, think about a time when you were around someone who was negative, critical, or disinterested in growth. How did that make you feel? Likely drained, discouraged, or even doubtful of your own abilities. This contrast highlights just how powerful our environment can be. The people around us have a direct influence on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Take Lisa, for example. She had always dreamed of starting her own business, but was constantly surrounded by friends and family who didn't believe in her vision. Every time she mentioned her ideas, they responded with skepticism, telling her it was too risky or that she wasn't cut out for entrepreneurship. Over time, Lisa began to doubt herself. She internalized their negative beliefs, which held her back from taking the first steps toward building her business. It wasn't until she sought out a group of entrepreneurs who were positive, supportive, and driven that her mindset began to shift. These new connections helped her see that her dreams were possible and gave her the confidence to take bold action. By changing the people she surrounded herself with, Lisa unlocked her true potential. Of course, it's not always easy to let go of relationships, even if they are toxic or limiting. We often hold on to these connections because they feel familiar, or because we fear judgment, rejection, or loneliness. But if you want to live your best life and achieve your greatest success, it's essential to evaluate the people in your life and ask yourself if they are helping or hindering your growth. Are they challenging you to become better, or are they holding you back with their negativity and limiting beliefs? Are they supportive of your goals, or are they making you feel small and insignificant? The truth is, sometimes the most empowering thing you can do is to let go of people who no longer serve your higher purpose. Letting go of toxic relationships doesn't mean you need to sever ties with everyone who has ever been difficult or negative in your life. It simply means recognizing that you deserve to surround yourself with people who align with your values, your goals, and your vision for the future. Toxic relationships can drain your energy, lower your self-esteem, and limit your potential. Whether it's a friend who constantly undermines your achievements, a colleague who discourages your progress, or even a family member who doesn't understand your dreams, it's crucial to create boundaries that protect your growth. Building a network of mentors and allies is equally important. Mentors provide invaluable wisdom, guidance, and support. They've walked the path you're on and can offer insights that save you time, money, and frustration. A mentor is someone who believes in your potential and pushes you to reach new heights. They don't just tell you what you want to hear, they challenge you, hold you accountable, and encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. Consider the story of James, a young professional who was struggling to advance in his career. Despite his hard work, he found himself stuck in the same position year after year. It wasn't until he reached out to a mentor in his field that things began to change. His mentor not only helped him identify areas where he could improve, but also connected him with key individuals who could help him move forward. With the guidance of his mentor, James gained new perspectives, developed new skills, and ultimately landed a promotion he had long been striving for. The right mentor can make all the difference in accelerating your success. In addition to mentors, your circle should include allies, people who share your passions, values, and vision for the future. These are the individuals who support you on your journey, offer encouragement, and celebrate your successes. Allies can be friends, colleagues, or other like-minded individuals who inspire you to keep going, even when the going gets tough. They offer fresh perspectives, provide constructive feedback, and push you to grow in ways that you might not have imagined on your own. When you surround yourself with people who believe in you, it becomes easier to believe in yourself. One of the most powerful things about having a supportive social circle is that it creates a ripple effect. As you surround yourself with people who are positive, motivated, and growth-oriented, you naturally begin to adopt these same qualities. Your social circle becomes a source of accountability and inspiration, pushing you to be your best self and reach your full potential. And as you grow, you can begin to offer that same encouragement and support to others, creating an environment where everyone thrives. Let's start with your physical space. Your surroundings have a profound influence on how you feel and perform. If you want to be more productive, motivated, and focused, your environment needs to reflect those goals. A cluttered or disorganized space can lead to a cluttered mind, making it harder to think clearly or stay on task. On the other hand, an organized, clean, and inspiring space can help you feel more in control, creative, and at ease. Think about it. When you walk into a room that's tidy and filled with things that inspire you, how do you feel? More energized, more motivated, right? Now consider the opposite. Walking into a space filled with piles of paperwork, dirty dishes, or items that make you feel stressed. It's hard to be productive or focused in that kind of environment. Take Rachel, for example. She was struggling to stay focused on her writing goals and often found herself distracted or unmotivated. Her desk was cluttered with old books, papers, and empty coffee cups. After a particularly frustrating week, Rachel decided to make a change. She cleaned her workspace, organized her notes, and added a few personal touches, like a plant and a vision board. The shift was immediate. With a clearer, more inspiring environment, Rachel found it easier to sit down and write. She felt more energized and focused, and she started making significant progress on her book. By simply creating an environment that supported her goals, Rachel set herself up for success. But it's not just about the physical space. Your social environment is just as important. The people around you can either uplift you or drag you down, so it's essential to intentionally surround yourself with individuals who support your growth and encourage you to reach higher. Community is a powerful tool for success because it provides accountability, encouragement, and the shared energy of like-minded individuals. When you're part of a community that aligns with your values and goals, it's easier to stay motivated and keep pushing forward. The energy of those around you can fuel your ambition, especially during times when your own motivation might falter. Consider the example of Michael, a fitness enthusiast who was struggling to stay consistent with his workouts. He had all the right equipment at home, but he often found himself skipping workouts or getting distracted by other responsibilities. One day, he decided to join a local fitness group, a community of people who were committed to improving their health and supporting one another. Being part of this group transformed Michael's approach to fitness. Not only did he feel accountable to the group, but he also drew inspiration from their shared energy and progress. The group offered tips, advice, and encouragement, and Michael found himself working harder and achieving better results than ever before. His fitness journey took off because he surrounded himself with a community that shared his passion and pushed him to reach new heights. Building or joining a supportive group doesn't have to be limited to fitness or physical pursuits. Whether your goals are related to career, personal development, creative endeavors, or even spirituality, there are groups and communities that can provide the support you need. Look for people who are on a similar journey, who share similar interests, or who have expertise in areas where you want to grow. If a community doesn't exist in your area, create one. You don't need to wait for the perfect group to appear. Start your own by bringing together individuals who are also seeking growth, motivation, and mutual support. This could be a mastermind group, a book club, a volunteer organization, or an online community focused on your specific interests or goals. For example, Emily, an aspiring artist, found it difficult to stay consistent with her painting practice. She had a lot of self-doubt and often felt isolated in her creative journey. One day she decided to start a local art group, inviting other artists in her area to meet once a week for collaboration and feedback. The group became a source of inspiration for Emily. They shared their work, exchanged techniques, and offered constructive criticism. The sense of camaraderie and shared purpose kept Emily motivated and excited about her art. By surrounding herself with other artists who were equally passionate about their craft, she was able to break through her creative blocks and develop her skills in ways she hadn't anticipated. When designing your environment for success, it's essential to think about both your physical surroundings and the social spaces you occupy. Start by making your physical space a reflection of your goals. Create a work environment that is free of distractions, organized, and motivating. Add elements that inspire you, such as a vision board, motivational quotes, or objects that remind you of your purpose. Declutter your surroundings and keep only those things that bring you joy or help you stay focused on your goals. When you walk into your space, let it serve as a reminder of what you're working toward. Equally important is the creation of a supportive social environment. Evaluate the people around you and consider whether they are encouraging your growth or holding you back. Seek out individuals who share your values and who challenge you to be better. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who are committed to their own growth, and who support your dreams. If such a community doesn't exist, don't hesitate to build it yourself. Whether it's a local group or an online community, find a place where you can connect with others who are on the same journey. A nurturing environment, both physical and social, can be the catalyst for the personal transformation and success you desire. Remember, success isn't just about what you can achieve on your own. It's about creating an environment that nurtures your growth, inspires you to push through obstacles, and surrounds you with people who support your dreams. When you design a space that reflects your goals and build a community that fuels your growth, you set yourself up for lasting success and fulfillment. Chapter 9. The Power of Balance, Rest and Recovery for Sustained Success. In our fast-paced world, we often equate success with hustle. We're told to work harder, push further, and never stop. While hard work and dedication are essential for achieving your goals, they must be balanced with rest and recovery to ensure long-term success and well-being. The truth is, sustainable success isn't about relentless effort without pause. It's about knowing when to push forward and when to step back and recharge. The key to mastering your life and becoming your best self lies in finding this balance, recognizing the importance of rest, and understanding that recovery is just as important as the work itself. In today's society, there's a pervasive culture of hustle and grind, where rest is often seen as a luxury rather than a necessity. We see it all around us: entrepreneurs boasting about late nights, people celebrating overwork, and social media feeds filled with messages encouraging you to never sleep if you want to succeed. But what happens when you ignore the need for rest? Eventually, your body and mind will begin to wear down. This is where burnout enters the picture. Burnout is more than just feeling tired. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that can leave you feeling drained, uninspired, and unable to function at your best. It's the result of pushing yourself too hard for too long without giving yourself the time to recover. The signs of burnout are often subtle at first, making it easy to overlook or dismiss. You might start feeling more fatigued than usual, even after a full night's sleep. Perhaps your motivation begins to dwindle, and the tasks that once excited you now feel like burdens. You may notice a sense of irritability or frustration that seems to linger, and simple tasks begin to feel overwhelming. Your creativity and focus may suffer, leaving you stuck in a cycle of procrastination. In extreme cases, burnout can manifest as physical symptoms like headaches, muscle tension, or sleep disturbances. If left unchecked, burnout can take a serious toll on your health, relationships, and overall happiness. It's important to recognize these signs early so you can take the necessary steps to restore your energy and well-being. Think about the story of John, a successful executive who was constantly juggling multiple projects, meetings, and responsibilities. John prided himself on his work ethic, often working late into the night and skipping weekends to stay on top of his workload. He thought that the more he did, the more successful he would become. But after months of pushing himself to the limit, John began to notice subtle signs of burnout. He became increasingly tired, his productivity dropped, and his mood shifted from enthusiasm to frustration. He was irritable with his colleagues and struggled to focus on even simple tasks. It wasn't until he hit a breaking point, experiencing a panic attack during a meeting, that he realized the importance of balance. John took a step back, reassessed his priorities, and started incorporating rest and recovery into his routine. He began taking regular breaks, setting boundaries at work, and making time for activities that brought him joy and relaxation. Over time, John's energy and focus returned, and he was able to perform at a higher level than before. He learned that taking care of himself was essential for sustaining his success. The reality is, rest isn't a sign of weakness, it's a form of strength. When you prioritize recovery, you're giving your body and mind the time they need to regenerate, repair, and recharge. Rest allows you to come back stronger, more focused, and more productive. It's in the moments of rest that you find clarity and creativity, which in turn fuels your performance when you return to work. Think of your body as a battery. It can only be used for so long before it needs to be recharged. Without proper rest, that battery will eventually drain, leaving you with little energy to accomplish anything. Self-care isn't just about taking a day off when you're exhausted. It's about building rest into your daily routine. Incorporate practices that promote recovery, such as mindfulness, meditation, or stretching. Taking short breaks throughout the day to rest your mind and body can help you stay sharp and avoid burnout. Regular exercise and a balanced diet are also crucial for maintaining your energy levels. Sleep, of course, is vital. Prioritize quality sleep by creating a nighttime routine that allows your body and mind to fully relax and recover. The key is consistency. When you make self-care a non-negotiable part of your daily life, you'll be better equipped to handle challenges and perform at your best. He began taking regular breaks, setting boundaries at work, and making time for activities that brought him joy and relaxation. Over time, John's energy and focus returned, and he was able to perform at a higher level than before. He learned that taking care of himself was essential for sustaining his success. The reality is, rest isn't a sign of weakness, it's a form of strength. When you prioritize recovery, you're giving your body and mind the time they need to regenerate, repair, and recharge. Rest allows you to come back stronger, more focused, and more productive. It's in the moments of rest that you find clarity and creativity, which in turn fuels your performance when you return to work. Think of your body as a battery. It can only be used for so long before it needs to be recharged. Without proper rest, that battery will eventually drain, leaving you with little energy to accomplish anything. Self-care isn't just about taking a day off when you're exhausted. It's about building rest into your daily routine. Incorporate practices that promote recovery, such as mindfulness, meditation, or stretching. Taking short breaks throughout the day to rest your mind and body can help you stay sharp and avoid burnout. Regular exercise and a balanced diet are also crucial for maintaining your energy levels. Sleep, of course, is vital. Prioritize quality sleep by creating a nighttime routine that allows your body and mind to fully relax and recover. The key is consistency. When you make self-care a non-negotiable part of your daily life, you'll be better equipped to handle challenges and perform at your best. Staying motivated and adapting to change, building resilience for long-term success. Staying motivated over the long term can be one of the biggest challenges on the path to personal growth and success. At the beginning of any new endeavor, the excitement and energy are often high, but as time goes on and obstacles arise, it's easy to feel like progress is slowing down or that the goal is out of reach. In these moments, it's crucial to maintain momentum, adapt to change, and cultivate resilience. Success is not a straight line. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, breakthroughs and setbacks. The key to long-term success is learning how to persevere through the tough times and stay motivated even when progress feels slow. One of the first strategies to keep your motivation strong is to break your larger goals down into smaller, more manageable steps. When a goal feels overwhelming, it's easy to get discouraged. But when you focus on small, incremental progress, you can build momentum that keeps you going. Think about the example of Sarah, who wanted to write a book. At first, the idea of completing an entire manuscript felt daunting, but instead of focusing on the massive task ahead, she set a goal to write just 500 words a day. Some days she wrote more. Other days it was just the 500 words. Regardless of the amount, Sarah remained consistent, and over time those small daily steps added up to a finished manuscript. By breaking her goal into bite-sized pieces, Sarah kept herself motivated and avoided feeling overwhelmed by the bigger picture. Another key to staying motivated long-term is understanding that progress isn't always linear. There will be days, weeks, or even months when it feels like you're not moving forward, and that's okay. Success is often a series of small, incremental steps that may not always feel significant in the moment, but add up over time. When you encounter setbacks or periods of slow progress, it's important to stay flexible and adjust your expectations. Perhaps the path you're on isn't the straight line you envisioned, and that's where resilience comes in. Resilience isn't about avoiding obstacles. It's about bouncing back from them with renewed energy and determination. When you're able to embrace the ups and downs as part of the process, it becomes easier to maintain your momentum. Think about Tom, an entrepreneur who faced many challenges as he built his business. In the early stages, progress was slow, and Tom struggled with doubt. He often questioned whether he was doing the right thing, especially when sales were lower than expected or when new opportunities didn't materialize. But instead of giving up, Tom focused on small wins and used each setback as an opportunity to learn and adjust. He took time to reflect on what was working and what wasn't, and he made changes where necessary. His ability to remain flexible and adapt to changing circumstances allowed him to keep moving forward, even when things weren't going as planned. Over time, his business began to grow, and Tom realized that the key to his success wasn't perfection, it was persistence. In addition to flexibility, it's important to nurture a mindset that embraces progress, not perfection. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking that success should come quickly or effortlessly, and when it doesn't, we become discouraged. But in reality, the road to achieving your goals is often much longer than you anticipate, and there will be plenty of bumps along the way. By shifting your focus from perfection to progress, you can celebrate the small victories and stay motivated even when the finish line feels far away. Every step you take toward your goal, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Another strategy for staying motivated is to regularly remind yourself why you started in the first place. Reconnecting with your why can reignite the passion that fueled you at the beginning of your journey. When you're feeling stuck or uninspired, take a moment to reflect on the reasons behind your goals, whether it's the desire to help others, create financial freedom, or live a life that aligns with your values. Reaffirming your purpose can give you the strength to push through tough times and renew your sense of direction. It also helps you stay grounded and focused on what truly matters, rather than getting sidetracked by distractions or setbacks. Adapting to change is another vital component of long-term motivation. Change is inevitable, and the ability to embrace it can make all the difference. Life, circumstances, and goals often evolve, and it's essential to stay open to new possibilities. For example, Jane, a career coach, initially focused solely on in-person workshops, but as the world shifted, she realized that offering virtual coaching sessions could allow her to reach a wider audience. Instead of resisting change, Jane adapted her approach and embraced the shift, ultimately growing her business in ways she hadn't imagined. Change often brings new opportunities, and being flexible enough to embrace those opportunities can keep your motivation strong. Resilience also involves learning how to handle failure and setbacks without letting them define you. It's easy to get discouraged after a failure, but failure is an inevitable part of any journey. The key is not to let it stop you. Instead of seeing failure as a sign that you're not good enough or that your dreams are unattainable, try to view it as a valuable learning experience. Every failure brings with it important lessons that can help you improve, adapt, and move closer to your goal. Remember that failure doesn't mean the end of the road. It's simply feedback that shows you a new way forward. Staying motivated over the long term requires a combination of persistence, adaptability, and self-compassion. It's important to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow. Break your goals down into smaller steps, stay flexible in the face of obstacles, and focus on the progress you're making rather than perfection. Remind yourself why you started, and use failure as a stepping stone to greater success. Resilience is built over time, and each small challenge you overcome makes you stronger. Keep believing in yourself, and remember that success isn't about the speed of your progress. It's about your ability to keep going, even when things get tough. As we conclude this journey toward mastering your life and becoming your best self, remember that the power to transform your life lies within you. Cultivating a positive mindset, building empowering habits, fostering resilience, and aligning with your deeper purpose are the cornerstones of lasting success. Self-mastery is not a destination, but a lifelong journey of growth. Now is the time to take action, implement the strategies you've learned, and watch your life evolve. I encourage you to share your progress, stay connected, and keep pushing forward. Your best self is waiting.